first season put all the pieces on the battlefield, and our impending return to Middle-earth looks to send them all to war. Here to shed some light on the conflict ahead are Morvid Clark, Charlie Vickers, Sophia Nomvete, Sam Hazeldine, and Daniel Wayman. Hi, guys. Welcome. We're so excited to have you guys. And obviously, we just released a huge trailer for season 2. It's so long, there's so much meat to it. But the biggest key to all of it is that while it illustrates the darkness, that's all on you, that's your fault.
Sorry.
While it illustrates all of the darkness, it also really digs into the hope that we have in this upcoming season. So 2 key questions for all of you here. How does it feel to finally have that out in the world? And what do you hope fans take from it?
Oh, it's so wonderful to have it out in the world. I mean, I didn't realize it would be such a rush the second time as well, but like being in Hall H and getting that moment where everybody sees what you've been working on, it's just incredible. And I think what I hope that people take from it is that you should always continue to have hope for a better kind of world. I mean, that's what I just love about Middle-earth, that even against kind of the most terrifying, though very well-dressed, evil Dark Lords, there's a push that the world can be better.
You've got a complicated answer here, because like in character, out of character, what do you hope for?
No, I hope people don't, follow Sauron's life path in the real world. But I think the thing that Tolkien did so beautifully was write a story and write so many different stories that people can relate to throughout any time period of the world. So stories of hope and of love and adventure, and I hope that people find an escape when they watch this show. Yeah. It's such an amazing privilege to be a part of the show. And Morvid was just talking about Hall H yesterday. They do something with the volume in there that when you're watching the trailer, it kind of vibrates throughout your whole body. Yeah.
I made the mistake of sitting down because we were all peering up at it. So I went to sit down at the front of the stage yesterday to watch it, a bit more distance. And I didn't realize I was sitting next to the bass speaker. And when it came to the bass kicking in, I was literally lifted off the floor. It was amazing, incredible.
Sophia, how about you?
Well, Hall H was incredible yesterday. It was just as much excitement, but in such a different way, because naturally last 2 years ago, Hall H, the show wasn't out yet, so we'd just seen the trailer. So, the reception from the fans, now they know us, and they know our characters, and they know our world, just felt so much more warm and wholesome. And I guess from this season, I would hope that they take as much love as we've had the first time round, but also that there's so many versions and cause and effect and the choices that we make. And I guess it's just about us all following our instincts. I think there's so much of us following our instincts, some for the better, some for the worse. Yeah. Just kind of trusting that fire in your belly, I would say.
Yeah. Sam, you have such a unique experience because this is your first ride with it. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. Obviously, yesterday was my first Comic-Con. This is my first Comic-Con. Yesterday was my first Hall H, and it was amazing to be there. Quite overwhelming when you kind of look out past the lights at how many people are in the room. It was amazing, yeah.
Nice to get the entrance.
Yeah, what an entrance. When an orc brings you on.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Daniel?
I'm just loving being here. So, because we were here 2 years ago and COVID was just finishing and there were lots of face masks and people were a little circumspect about it, but this one is just so relaxed and people really just enjoying being in the streets at the convention center, and it's great to be in that. I feel like everybody's here for the same reason: storytelling, entertainment. It's really exciting.
Yeah. So, Morvid, we have to talk about Galadriel here because I have a beef. And it's not with Galadriel, unlike everybody else on this show, because in season 1, Galadriel is running around warning anybody with ears, hey, danger's coming. And no one listened to her, so when she had another secret, she didn't go to them with this secret. And then now we're looking at this trailer for season 2, and everybody seems mad at her all over again. What's up with that? What's the deal?
I know. I think she does get a tougher time. I think also why I loved playing her in season 1, and also it's kind of followed into this season, is that she's a bit of like, she's in her kind of own horror film in a way. Like she's screaming that there's a monster and everyone's ignoring her. So that was really fun to do it. And I think also, powerful women, they make people cross, and I feel blessed to play her and to make Sauron cross, yeah.
Very angry.
Yeah.
If you're making Sauron cross, it means that you're like doing your job in Middle-earth. Like you crushed it. So, Charlie, we're now in a space where you're out and about. You had to hide all the first season, both, off camera and on camera. How did it change your approach now that Sauron's out in the world?
I think it didn't actually change my approach that much. It's more just like audience perspective that's changed. I think one of the cool things in the way I like to think about it is in the first season when Halbrand was having his creepy Sauron moments, the camera wasn't with him, right? He kind of turned away and would have the moment to himself, and we would stay with Galadriel or whoever else. This season, we're in on it with him. So it's the audience perspective.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
It was just so freaky in that final episode where he did turn, because you've never done that in any of the rehearsals.
Yeah, and that's the first time that you see sort of the window into who he really is. So from my perspective, I just tried to link it. He's the same character as Halbrand. He just looks different and walks different and talks different. But he's the same guy.
Yeah, the energy
He's completely different. But yeah, I think it's a matter of audience perspective as well.
So, speaking of perspective, Daniel, everybody wants to know who you are, but you don't know who you are. So,
Who are any of us?
what has it been like just discovering the stranger in real time with the audience?
Yeah, I think it's really, really fun. I've been looking back on the idea of, landing in Middle-earth with nothing, with no history, effectively. He couldn't remember anything. And building each scene was a different sort of layer of his character and experience, and the audience has gone on that journey with him. So actually, in a funny sort of way, the audience know him as well as they know any character. Galadriel's got thousands of years behind her that we haven't seen yet. But with the stranger, he landed, there's nothing before it, really, that he remembers. And everything that's happened after, they've been present. So I like to think everybody knows the stranger as well as they know any character in the piece. And that's been a really fun journey for me, yeah.
I love it. It's so unique because we see him learning as everybody else is, but it's, with the Harfoots, everything's so chaotic with them. And the contrast there is Disa. Not necessarily everybody around Disa, but you are probably the most put together character in this show.
Yeah.
How is Disa going to be challenged in season 2?
I think Disa for so long has really used her gift of resonating to carry her through, to inform her. She's warm, she's strong, her ears are to the ground, and she, just like Galadriel, she senses things. She loses that gift in this season. So I guess it's finding, that's what I meant earlier by kind of like reigniting that fire in your belly. We lose sense. We're going off of external fear. As we do in our world, I think we're spending too much time being informed by what's happening externally, and we're losing that kind of sense of self and turning the mirror back. And I think she has got to find that one way or another to save her kingdom. And it's a really, really exciting journey. But as good and as strong as she is, any evil can always shake the ground. And so I think it's been so wonderful to be able to play her just falling off the beaten track a little bit, and that constant pull. But she still keeps her feet to the ground, and she means business for sure.
Thank you all so much for being here with us today. The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power Season 2 delivers itself to you on Prime Video August 29th. Don't go away. We have plenty more to come from San Diego Comic-Con in just a little bit.